against Bitcoin.
It's going up forever.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live, our number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, breaking news, culture, manic warfare. We'll be your guide through the separation of money and state. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the most watched daily Bitcoin live show on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Smash the like button. Really helps push the orange signal forward. The Bitcoin only signal on YouTube, right? So we need more of that. We need more Bitcoin only content being pushed so people could see who the king is. Anyways, today we're going to talk about some interesting stuff. We're going to start off the week strong. I'm in a good mood because I leave to El Salvador tonight, my first time in Bitcoin country, the shining country on a hill, El Salvador, the savior, first country to make Bitcoin legal tender, the beachfront for the Bitcoin movement worldwide. So I'm really excited for that. But we had some interesting characters. We had Pierre Rochard, we had Cathie Wood, and they were throwing some very interesting calls for this cycle. And I also want to make the case, and I've made this case strongly, and I haven't heard enough people talk about it, how I believe that the last cycle was cut short because of the China mining ban. And I think this time things are completely different. The hash rate is going absolutely parabolic. I think the reason that we didn't hit 100K minimum last cycle was because of the China mining ban. I think this cycle things are completely different. What is different? Well, obviously the China mining ban could only happen one time. The majority of the hash rate is located here in the US, in the great state of Texas. Texas is extremely pro Bitcoin. There's some hash in Kazakhstan as well. It's decentralized worldwide. So I think that the probability of a mining ban in the middle of the next bull cycle is quite low. You never know what could happen, but it's quite low in my opinion. And also the stars are aligning in the sense that the ETF got approved January 9th in 2024, the same day many years ago that Hal Finney tweeted out, January 9th, 2009, running Bitcoin. So quite a coincidence there. But the ETFs got approved, and the ETFs are absolute game changers. Not to mention the fact that Larry Fink said that the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, was the best performing ETF in history, really. Not to mention the fact that the Bitcoin ETFs, two of them, the Fidelity one and the BlackRock one, are already in the top 5 out of 3,100 ETFs, and it's only been a couple months. So the amount of institutional demand coming in, is absolutely insane. And then this month, in 19 days, is the Bitcoin halving. So it looks like all the stars are aligning. And, if you take a look at the numbers, it makes sense. This is the first time in Bitcoin's history that Bitcoin made an all-time high before the halving, right? So we're in uncharted territory. I think the best is yet to come. I think we're going to, this is going to be a great cycle. And another reason that I believe so is because a lot of people still have PTSD. Like if you look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, one of the sections is kind of like the disbelief. I think we all got so PTSD'd from the last cycle, this kind of like the double top, and it just didn't really go parabolic like a lot of people thought. That a lot of people, what I'm seeing this time, unlike the previous cycles, everyone thought that Bitcoin was going to hit 100K guaranteed. What I'm seeing this cycle is that people are like being a little bit bearish. And Bitcoin and markets tend to do the exact opposite of what the masses think they're going to do, right? So I think we might be in for, a pleasant surprise on the price level. But remember, guys, the revolution is self-custody. So you guys could be benefiting from the price if you bought Bitcoin and, you bought that Bitcoin ETF, but it's not really your Bitcoin. So remember, guys, buy real Bitcoin, earn Bitcoin, mine Bitcoin, and take that Bitcoin into self-custody. And, that's really how we really change the world. If enough of us do that, if enough of humanity does that, that's the separation of money and state. So anyways, we have a lot of videos for you guys today, a lot of kind of like price speculation, price analysis. I'm going to make the case for the China ban, and also how the China ban affected the price last run up. And also I have a video for you guys as well from, I think, like 10 years ago, where they were just talking, S on Bitcoin. And, the price of Bitcoin at the time was $300 or $400, right? And the reason I like playing these types of videos is 10 years from now, where do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be? I think a lot of people are going to kick themselves in the foot metaphorically for not stacking those sats at 68K. Anyway, it's going to be a great show. I want to bring up my legendary host. He's smiling today, looking beautiful. The legendary Optimus Fields. How you doing, Opti? I highly suggest following Opti's Instagram.
Dude, just we gotta make Bitcoin fun, sexy, and cool. So I guess we're on the forefront of that one, Nico. Hey, man, it's Monday. And we're starting the week off strong, getting very bull-tarded. This is my favorite things to do. Obviously, we get yelled all the time, speculating, clickbaiting, and all that stuff. But this Pierre Rochard quote or clip that I know we're going to play today is absolutely, it's like just chef's kiss. It's such a good clip. I'm super excited for this. And Pierre Rochard's one of the best memers, one of the OG memers in the Bitcoin space. So I love hearing his takes. And I think you're right. I always jokingly say with wine all the time that I counter trade Bitcoin Twitter all the time. So whatever Bitcoin Twitter says, you just counter trade it. And it's my contrarian view here. So if we're all having PTSD right now about 100K Bitcoin, then you counter trade that, and we're going way past 100K. 100K is bearish. I said it here first. We're getting bull-tarded this morning. It's okay. It's okay. Monday, bull-tards. This is where we're at right now.
No. But I'm telling you, like we could, and again, guys, what we advocate for on Simply Bitcoin is stay humble, stack sats, stay solvent, and just DCA. DCA is the way. Time in the market beats timing the market every time. I'm telling you that from experience. Opti experienced it too. Most Bitcoiners I've talked to, this is what they say as well. Don't try to time it. Just stay humble, stack sats. Literally just focus on increasing your income and putting as much of it as humanly possible into Bitcoin while keeping your expenses low. Also, during the culture segment, we have a very special guest. We have Will, who is trying to one-up Brian DeMint by reading his book. He's reading his 3 books. Here, let me make you full screen. He's reading 3 books at the same time.
Hey guys, yeah, I didn't see you there. I saw Brian on the live show Friday reading, and I just read 3 books at the same time. So, there you go, Brian.
No, man. All right, so Will is an author. Will, what books did you author, man?
So my first book, The Bitcoin Dog, Following the Descent to the Bitcoin C++ Source Code, really having fun. My dog running around the Australian outback, talking to animals to read the actual C++ code of Bitcoin and go into the code. Second book, which I'm going to talk about today, is the fiction novel, Bitcoin Girl Save the World. Have a new anniversary edition with a new cover. Hopefully later in the show, Opti can read chapter 1 out loud. You don't want to miss that. And I wrote a short story for the first ever Bitcoin fiction anthology, 21 Futures Tales from the Time Chain, published on Consensus Network. So and I promoted that a couple months ago on Simply Bitcoin.
Oh, awesome, man. Well, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about your works today and what they're all about, why people should buy them, why people should get them. And guys, I can't emphasize this enough. If we want to win this, we gotta win over the culture. That's how we do it. And the way that you win over the culture is by writing books, reading books, making music, making content. You gotta get that into people's minds, man. You fix the money, you fix the world. It's not left versus right. It's not liberal versus conservative. It's the party of green versus the party of orange. And the way that you raise awareness to this is you make Bitcoin cool. You make, doubling
down on that, Nico. It's truth versus lies at this point.
Oof, Opti coming in strong. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great show. I am extremely excited. My last show in Miami before I go to El Salvador. I can't wait. I heard so many good things about this place. Can't wait to, buy some things with Bitcoin. I like that.
Get some pupusas with Lightning.
Can't even believe it. I already loaded up my Lightning wallet, ready to go. So it's going to be great.
That's where she goes, Nico. Bitcoin Girl Destiny goes to El Salvador. So you're going to have to read the book to get ready for your trip there.
I am beyond excited. Anyways, guys, it's going to be a great show. But before we jump into the show, guys, I want to give a shout out to our lead sponsor. And of course, I'm talking about the Bitcoin Well. Bitcoin Well is the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack. It's a publicly traded company coming out of Canada that recently expanded to all 50 states. It's self-custody by default. That's right. You can't purchase Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well unless you're going to take self-custody, which perfectly aligns with the Simply Bitcoin ethos of the separation of money and state. Make self-custody the standard in the US. Check out bitcoinwell.com. It's the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack. Also, check out the Bitcoin Jackpot Contest, which is currently live. Absolutely awesome. The way that you enter is go to bitcoinwell.com/contest. Every time you purchase Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, you earn points. You could put it towards the contest. The current jackpot, that number isn't updated. It's well north of 3.5 million Satoshis. We want to hit 10 million Satoshis by the halving, because that's when the jackpot ends. So make sure to enter. If you're an existing user of Bitcoin Well, go to the rewards section. Guys, use a Bitcoin on-ramp that is self-custody by default. Self-custody is the revolution. That's why you got to use Bitcoin Well. Also, not to mention all the giveaways they've done. We've given away a passport, a Seb Bunny book, seed plates. We're going to be giving away more stuff as well. So stay tuned. Guys, check out bitcoinwell.com today. This is where Simply Bitcoin stacks their Bitcoin. All right, everybody, let's get to the numbers. We have a lot to talk about.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. You want to make it over the effing finish line with your Bitcoin, and that's why you have to store your Bitcoin properly on the Stamp Seed. Right. And no, I get a lot of people asking questions about it. You don't send your seed phrase to Stamp Seed. They send you a Stamp Seed storage kit to your house where you literally hammer the seed phrase into titanium plates so it could last multi generations. You could pass it on to your grandchildren, your grandchildren's grandchildren, to the point where you'll be so badass that they'll put a portrait over the fireplace of the family home. It'll be like, you see, my great grandfather, he was buying Bitcoin at 70K. Can't believe it. Anyways, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 68,580 sats per dollar, 1,458 block height, 837,266 blocks to halving, 2,734 halving estimate, April 20th, 2024, total Lightning Network capacity, 4,407 Bitcoin. capacity value, 302 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, 1.73%. The market capitalization of Bitcoin, 1.35 trillion US dollars. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 9.76%. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is just getting started. It's just revving up its engines. Anyways, I do have a video for us to react to today. Here's Neil Jacobs, and he's posting a clip from exactly 10 years ago when the Bitcoin price was at $479. Don't you wish you can buy Bitcoin at $479? That'd be great. Anyways, let's check out what the legacy media had to say on Bitcoin.
Let's take a look at it technically. Two ways to look at it. Obviously, Rich, big downtrend from its highs, lost more than half its value, but it is only back to the level it was back in mid-November of last year. It's not like Bitcoin is completely collapsed, you know, to levels of just a couple of years ago. Technically, any sign of support here for Bitcoin?
Yeah, it hasn't completely collapsed yet, I think is the point here, Brian. This has transitioned from a trade into a scandal, which is like a duck transitioning into a l'orange. It's not a good thing here. From a technical standpoint, we have this massive descending triangle with the peak up around 1100, the base of that triangle very well defined around $500, a key psychological level, I guess, to some. Now that break below 500 actually projects measured downside to minus 100. Now that doesn't really make sense, but given the recent history, given the Mt. Gox scandal, or JOX, if you will, I could see this thing in negative. It could actually cost you money to own this thing at the end of the day. It could just disappear that quickly. So not a big fan either. I'm with Gina as well. Probably get some negative comments out there. But Brian, this is not a good chart. It's not a good story. I don't know what good could really come of it at this point.
Okay, you guys are negative. Listen, I don't have an opinion on the way, but I will say this. It's got a lot of backers, got a lot of believers. It's got some very powerful backers as well. I'm not sure I'd write Bitcoin off just yet, even though it is obviously evolving. It's new. It could change. Someone's got to take the other side. That's about the best I can do. Rich Ross, Gina Sanchez, thank you very much. Folks, what do you think about Bitcoin? Obviously, a difficult last couple of months for the digital currency or digital property. What will happen? Let us know. We're on Twitter at CNBC Numbers. I'm Brian Sullivan. Talk to you soon.
I mean, oof. I mean, that guy must. Oh, yeah. Someone put it in the chat. That guy is now unemployed. I hope not. That'd be mean. But look, the reason that those videos are so significant is not to beat yourself up and be like, oh my God, like it's because you have to remember that you will look back in these times right now and you will see the same thing. It's going up forever, Laura, right? It's infinity divided by 21 million. So there will be a moment in time where you'll look back 5-10 years from now and you'll think, holy crap, this thing was at 68K. And this thing's now at $1.5 million. Or this thing's at $5 million. Or this thing's at $10 million. You know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. And you had an opportunity to buy it at 68K. It's going to be the same thing, right? So those types of videos are just kind of a reminder. Like, look at the confidence in that guy's voice. He's like, the Mt. Gox thing happened. It's a descending triangle. This thing peaked at 1,000. Oh, it's going back to $200. Could you have imagined buying this thing at $300 to $200? It would have been insane, right? So when in doubt, you got to zoom out, right? The opportunity's still there. The vast majority of the world, go into an Uber, go talk to people on the street, talk to them about Bitcoin, see what they say, and you'll know we're early. People still don't know what this thing is. We're jumping the chasm between the innovator stage, the early adopter, to the early majority, right? We're like jumping that. We're in the process of that. I really believe we're in the beginnings of the early majority phase. There's still a minimum of 100x in this thing, right? So you got to ask yourself, you know, you're gonna be that guy. At least the anchor was humble enough to be like, a lot of powerful people, like he had a little bit of humility, right? But that guy doesn't look very, very smart right now. So either jump on the train or you get left behind. Now, all of that being said, I want you guys to put that video in your forefront when we start talking about, when we start playing you guys the videos from Pierre Rochard and Kathy Wood, and they're talking about $1 million Bitcoin, $1.5 million Bitcoin, right? Just put that video in your mind. If you think it's unbelievable, if you think it can't happen as quickly as they say it could happen. No one knows the future, but I can tell you something. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It is the best asset the world has ever seen. It is a black hole. It's the best money the world has ever seen. It is uncorruptible, sound money that is, you know, literally designed to go up forever, because they're going to continue printing dollars forever. So anyways, Opti, I want to get your point on, I want to get your thoughts on that. Dude, that guy, like, holy cow, man. Holy cow. Look, look, to be fair, at that point, Bitcoin was still new. Like, no one knew what it was. Like, all the on-ramps that you guys benefit from right now, like Bitcoin Well and all the other ones, they didn't exist back then. Like, it would, like, this thing, like Mt. Gox was the thing, right? So the thing to buy Bitcoin literally just disappeared off the face of the planet. So it was very uncertain times. Michael Saylor, even at that moment in time, moment in history, was like, no, this thing's going to go away, right? So it's a lot easy to say. It's a lot easier to say, oh, I would have bought Bitcoin at that time. No, there's a whole lot more uncertainty. Now there's a lot more certainty, right? Now I think it's incredibly obvious at this point. But there's still people that don't think so, which is why Bitcoin is still only at 68K. I think if people really woke up to Bitcoin and they really found out how powerful this thing is, I think we would be north of 100K easily by now. Anyways, Opti, what's your take? And then we'll get Will's take.
Yeah, just on that last point, I always say it on the show, I don't know, every other couple of weeks, that I think the Bitcoin price is a real-time metric of people's understanding of Bitcoin. And like Nico said, you know, if people really understood what Bitcoin is, then we'd have a lot more people holding Bitcoin currently, and we wouldn't be at these prices. So this has been an opportunity for all of us to try to stack as much Bitcoin as humanly possible before the Larry Finks of the world came in. And you know, going back in time, what year was this? This was around Mt. Gox. So, you know, a long time ago in Bitcoin world. And real, like, in the recent memory, or rather in the current zeitgeist of where Bitcoin is, like, in my opinion, and to all of us Bitcoiners, and I think to anyone that is starting to gain interest in Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the least risky thing to be holding today. It's been de-risked. You know, we have Larry Fink now embracing Bitcoin. Saylor's been vindicated. We have Nayib Bukele with El Salvador having Bitcoin. And so that signal is getting out there. And we had a really cool conversation the other day, Nico and I. And I don't want to dox him, but a friend of ours was basically telling us that he was having conversations with very high net worth individuals, and, you know, basically traders and people with a lot of capital. And they are moving slowly right now, and they're doing the research. Like, they basically do their research before they invest a lot of money, whereas all of us Bitcoiners just like throw money at it and then we learn on the back end. So we're seeing that the signal is starting to spread, and it's getting de-risked in real time. And people are looking towards Bitcoin as a viable solution, or rather a viable alternative to the traditional financial world. And in that time, when that video was being played, most people, even Bitcoiners, didn't even know what they were holding. And it's just funny because I don't even remember how many obituaries there are for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin never dies. And every time I see these types of videos, it always reminds me of the early, like, I don't know, early 2010s-ish, when, or early 2000s rather, when people were talking about like the impact of the internet or social media. And you see these clips all the time on the internet, and they had no idea what the internet is. They're like literally like monkeys looking at typewriters, like, what is this thing? And if you go and look back on those videos, you're just like, oh my God, like, the internet is basically ubiquitous with the modern world. And even when a new technology like the internet comes out, people are still hesitant. They don't understand what it is. They're afraid of change. And it's just funny looking back at old Bitcoin videos, because it reminds me of people talking about, you know, I think there's one of like Oprah talking about the internet, and they're like, they don't understand what's going on, and this is just kind of the facts of the matter. When new technology comes out, people, I wouldn't say they're dumb, but they're slow to deep dive the technology until it has an actual effect on society. And we're seeing this happen in real time in Bitcoin. So it's so awesome looking back on those videos. And then another point, this is why we tell you guys to not trade Bitcoin. Time in the market beats timing in the market. Because if you're just looking at charts, you know, you're looking at lines on your charts, you may think you're late to Bitcoin. You may trade yourself out of a position. But remember what I keep telling you guys, we're playing Hungry Hippo with Bitcoin. The name of the game is accumulate. Buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Hold it for as long as you can. And you're going to be happy in the future. And you won't go back and look at videos of yourself talking about Bitcoin and like beat yourself up about it. I mean, we have the famous Sailor tweet where he was calling Bitcoin dead, and now he's like the biggest bull in the game. So like, I think it's another meme we always talk about here in Bitcoin land is that there are no critics to Bitcoin. Because once you actually start to test your assumptions against Bitcoin and you deep dive Bitcoin, all your criticism kind of flows away, because the more you try to criticize Bitcoin with an actual open mind and in good faith, you start to realize, wait, this Bitcoin thing might be something huge. Like, and then this is why all of us Bitcoiners always say, they're not bringing us their best critics, because the best critics of Bitcoiners always end up being Bitcoiners. And you can just tell who is, you know, for lack of better terms, the NPCs out there that are just regurgitating the same headlines they've heard from other people, and those that actually try to understand what is going on in good faith, because they always end up being Bitcoiners. So this is just part of the process.
100%. Will, what's your take on that video, my friend?
Yeah, really fast, I want to say, stick around for the culture segment. I'm going to give away 2 signed copies of Bitcoin Girl Save the World. I forgot to say that earlier. My take on the video is, it's so early. Let's go. Let's do it. I mean, just like, look at these guys drawing lines on charts, $1,000 crashing to $500. We crashed $1,000 while we were recording, and nobody even said anything. Nobody even noticed. So I absolutely remember Bitcoin in 2013, in 2014, when Mt. Gox collapsed. I was like, oh, this is a scam. This is going to zero. I'm not going in. But look, here we are. It takes education. It takes shows like Simply Bitcoin. It takes people to learn. And how I know we're so early to Bitcoin is all of us here on this podcast listening live. We are the ones, we weren't in the space earlier. Some of us might not have been here in 2013, including me. I know, Nico, you said you were class of 2016. Every year, we're only going higher and higher. And look, the previous, I know what you're talking about in terms of the PTSD. This bear market, we fell below the prior cycle all-time high, 19,000. We fell into the 15,000s. But now look at us. We're breaking all-time high before the halving, something that has never happened in Bitcoin's history. So it's only bullish from here. Let's go. I'm ready.
Hold on.
Let's
don't forget be humble.
Yeah, don't forget be humble.
Let's effing go.
Wait, hold on, Nico.
Seems like we got a super chat from Vake. Let's
from the homie Vake.
Opti's cycle is very conservative, just like Bitcoin. He only bleeds once. What the F, dude?
Shouts out, Vake. Shouts out to Vake.
Appreciate the $10, Vake. By the way, guys, by popular request, we have the super chats live. So if you guys are enjoying the show, really appreciate the super chat. Also, our Bitcoin address is down in the chat, down in the video description, podcast description. Also, we have Lightning there as well. Anyways, that's fun. That's effing hilarious. That's effing hilarious. God damn it.
The other thing I was thinking was the other thing the guy said is for every seller there is a buyer. That was his last defense. And that's us. We are the hodlers. We are the remnant. We are the ones accumulating all.
100%. I'll buy it from you, dude. Like, if you want to take that attitude, that pomp, like, oh, this is going to zero, I'll buy it from you. Anyway, Hamasito, appreciate the $2, man. Thank you. Anyways, I do want to give a shout out to our merch drop. We teamed up with a Bitcoin artist named Asanoa. We have the ladies merch. We have the Peaceful Bitcoin Revolution shirt. the gold Bitcoin pill. We have the gold coin snapback, the gold Bitcoin hat. I absolutely love this shirt. Absolutely clean. It's super, super cool. Get yours while supplies last. We are running out of sizes. So you gotta get yourself some Simply Bitcoin merch. But first, buy Bitcoin first. And if you have some sats left
also,
over.
Nico, if you're going to be at the halving party, I think Mika is going to bring some merch with him.
I'm going to be bringing some merch with me. So, but it is limited edition, guys. There's only one round of these. So get yours while supplies last. Anyways, everybody, let's get to the news. We have a lot to talk about. Let's check it out. Here we go.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air-gapped security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I made it incredibly easy for you guys. Oh, Opti, we should definitely maybe show the March Madness maxi bracket because that's hilarious during the culture segment. Guys, get yourself a hardware wallet. Remember, guys, not your keys, not your cheese. If you don't take self-custody, it's not really your Bitcoin. We recommend our sponsor, Foundation, completely open source, absolutely beautiful, incredibly easy to use, guys. It has a little keyboard, especially if you pair it up with the Envoy app. It's so easy to use it. You use your cold storage bit. Anyways, let's check out quick ETF update. Let's refresh the page. MicroStrategy currently holds still 214,000 Bitcoin. Grayscale continuing to sell off 335,000. The BlackRock ETF 252,000 Bitcoin. The Fidelity 143,000. Seems like it's going sideways. None of them have really increased all that much. So interesting. The ARK Invest seems to be going up 44,000 Bitcoin. Bitwise 31,000 Bitcoin. So very interesting. Very interesting. Clearly there's been some winners in the ETF front, and I really do believe it's ARK, Fidelity, and BlackRock. Out of all, I think it was like 11 ETFs that applied, but it seems like these guys are the winners. And it seems like that Grayscale, people just continue to dump the Grayscale ETF. Maybe it's because of the pricing. Maybe they had a bad experience with GBTC. Heard a lot of people had bad experiences with GBTC. Anyways, I do want to play this clip. This is what we're all here for. Here's Pierre Rochard on Marty Bent's show, TFTC. Huge fan, by the way. And he had something interesting to say in terms of Bitcoin and this cycle and where he thinks it could reach. And we'll make the case for it. We'll make the case for it, right? This isn't just, complete bull porn. We'll make the case for it. It is Monday. We want to start off strong, but we'll make the case why this is. And again, guys, we at Simply Bitcoin, we don't make price predictions ever. But when notable, reputable figures like Samson Mao, Adam Back, Pierre Rochard, Max Kaiser, Kathy Wood, when they bring up, these price speculations, we like to cover it, and we like to try to make sense of it. Sometimes they don't make sense whatsoever, but we at least like to have the conversation. And remember, the video that we played for you guys during the numbers segment, that guy was literally making fun of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at $200. At that point, if I told you back then that Bitcoin was eventually going to hit $70,000 10 years later, you would have laughed me out of the effing room. You would have laughed me out of the room. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your mind. Anyways, let's check it out.
And I think that the ETFs open that up, and we're starting to see the banks say, hey, in the past, we have not been able to touch Bitcoin due to, the fiat maxi overlords. But because BlackRock and everyone else can get their hands on Bitcoin, we're at a disadvantage competitively. And it's not fair. We need to level the playing field and allow everybody to, be able to use Bitcoin. And so I think that we're starting to see a move in that direction. And so now I think that we've got a lot more clarity on the path to hyper-Bitcoinization completion. Right? Because obviously we've been in hyper-Bitcoinization for 15 years now, right? Mm-hmm. You don't go from a $0 to $1 trillion market cap and not call that hyper-Bitcoinization.
Bitcoin's the 5th largest base money in the world.
Yeah. In an astonishingly short period of time, given that human civilization has only been around for 1,000 years or whatever. So, yes, the answer is yes. And now we gotta caution people. There are going to be big drawdowns, right? So it's not going to be a straight line up and to the right. It's going to crash, obviously. So don't go crazy with leverage. Don't use leverage. Don't use the ETFs. Also, things might get hairy. So, learn how to use a cold card, learn how to use multi-sig, and get not your keys, not your Bitcoin, get it off the exchanges, because we're going to go in for a wild ride here.
How wild?
$1 million, is kind of my expectation for this cycle.
Really?
Absolutely. And arguably that's just naively conservative. Because of massive tailwinds. I think the biggest headwind, honestly, is the paper hands, the people who are like the lettuce hands, who...
the Dave Portnoy's of the world.
So, again, it's not coming from Simply Bitcoin. It's coming from Pierre Rochard. Pierre Rochard is the VP of research at a publicly traded mining company, Riot Platforms. It's on the NASDAQ by the ticker symbol Riot. So, obviously his incentives are for him to say stuff like that, just like it's Samson Mao's incentives to say $1 million Bitcoin, just like Simply Bitcoin's incentives to be perfectly transparent is to say $1 million Bitcoin. But at the same time, remember the video that I played you guys in the beginning of the show. Look, Bitcoin is an aligned incentive structure model, right? So miners, they're not mining out of the goodness of their heart. They're mining out of the pursuit of profit. Node operators, they're not running their own nodes out of the goodness of their heart. They're running nodes because they don't want to trust someone else's copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, or they want to run their own version of their Bitcoin software. By the way, if you're thinking about running your own Bitcoin node, which you totally should, you got to take self-custody. You got to get yourself a Bitcoin node. I recommend the Start9. That's the one I personally use, Start9 Pure. It is absolutely badass. There's a promo in the video description if you guys are interested. But yeah, $1 million Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin this cycle. I love the fact that he's like, it's conservative. Naively, exactly. Thanks, Opti. Is it possible? Absolutely. I think anything's possible. I think you kind of have to prepare yourself for any type of possibility. Look, we're only at 70K, right? We're at 0.07 million right now per Bitcoin. The halving hasn't happened yet. The bull hasn't happened yet. Are you trying to make the case to me that we're gonna just hit 100K and then pack it up and then wait like another cycle? Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm not. But I think when Pierre Rochard speaks, it's a good idea to listen. Anyways, so I've shown this many times. Bitcoin is likely to scale into a multi-trillion-dollar market. And here's the bear case, the base case, the bull case. The bear case is 258,000. The base case is 682,000. The bull case is 1.5 million. Now, Cathie Wood released this in 2023, right? She's completely changed her outlook on this 100%. She's actually fast forwarded it to 1.5 million by 2027. And the reason for that, I think, is the same reason that Pierre Rochard is bringing it up, it's because of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. The spot Bitcoin ETFs and the amount of institutional inflows, not to mention the vindication and the validation of the Bitcoin public company strategy by Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, have you guys seen his stock? Opti, could you pull up the MicroStrategy? Like,
yeah, it's nuts.
It's absolutely absurd. I have to show this to you guys. Like, guys, like, this is insane. You don't see this on Wall Street. Okay, you see this hockey stick? You see this? Like, look, his stock was going sideways for like 10 years. Okay, this is when he started the Bitcoin strategy, right? When it peaked at 800, went back down to like $200, and this thing went to, it's at $1,782. All he did, look, right now, on a 5-year scale, it's up 10x on a 5-year scale. Okay, why is this happening? Okay, all he didn't change his business strategy. He didn't do whatever. He leveraged his company to buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I'm not saying that every company has to follow Michael Saylor's footsteps, but if you're a company like Apple or Google, right, and you are holding massive reserves of cash that are like melting ice cubes, if you just put 1 to 2% or 3% or 4% or 5% into Bitcoin, it could compensate for the amount of purchasing power you're losing by holding cash. And as Michael Saylor has proven, it could also potentially help your stock price if you're holding a good amount of Bitcoin. This is what Michael Saylor is proving. No. This is not what he's proving. He proved this already, right? Okay. So that's the public company aspect of it. Now on the nation state level, it gets very fucking exciting. You have Nayib Bukele, who's been buying 1 Bitcoin a day since this thing was at 26,000, and he's in the profit too. Do you remember how much the legacy media was giving him? The IMF was like, this is going to be a disaster. They had to eat their effing words. In fact, it kind of reminds me of this guy right here talking so surely. That's the IMF gave me those vibes when they were like saying they were talking about El Salvador adopting a Bitcoin standard, right? So look, markets do what markets do best. And at the end of the day, if this MicroStrategy stock keeps performing the way it's performing, other public companies are going to get pressured by their investors to say, hey, what are you guys doing? How are you guys being outcompeted by a company that's literally just holding Bitcoin? That's where the pressure is going to come in. And I think it's going to happen a lot faster than people realize. All it takes is NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Apple. All it takes is one press release saying
Chevron.
Exactly. All it takes is one of those companies to announce, hey, we're holding Bitcoin. And you're going to see a tidal wave of Bitcoin purchases. And now here's the thing. Unlike gold, it doesn't matter how much the price of Bitcoin goes up. The production not only stays the same, it gets cut in half every 4 years. And that is where the supply shock is coming in. So when you hear Pierre Rochard and Cathie Wood bring out these predictions, that's where it's coming from. That's what they're seeing. When you have the CEO and chairman of the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, who holds trillions of dollars assets under management, say stuff like this.
Look, I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's gone up. I mean, look, it is we're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
I thought, yes. Yes,
well, IBIT is your ETF over at iShares.
Yes.
It's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly into
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? A Bitcoin ETF is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. Now pair this, guys, connect the dots. This is Simply Bitcoin. Connect this with the MicroStrategy stock. Literally, look at this. Look at that. That's not normal, right? Wait, Wall Street still has not completely waken up to this. That's what you guys have to understand. So when they throw out these predictions, Pierre Rochard, Cathie Wood, this is where it's coming from. Here is Cathie Wood saying $1.5 million Bitcoin by 2027. Let's check out what she has to say.
We have all kinds of metrics, but when I was at Abundance, the forecast was, our bull case was $1.5 million in 5 years. So that would have been 2027. We still have time. And we still think that's going to be right. If you just look at the institutional push into Bitcoin, this new asset class, they have to consider it as fiduciaries. When you use those code words, new asset class, what it means, the correlation of these returns are very low compared to those of other assets.
Especially as bonds and stocks are becoming more correlated, you need something uncorrelated.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so they have to consider it. Now, what are we saying? There are 19.6 million Bitcoin out there right now, and the highest it will ever go is 21 million. Okay, there's real scarcity value. And what is going to happen? The price increase for every institutional dollar pushing in now is going to be much higher than it was last year, 2 years ago. It's, we're going to get into, if these institutions really want to own it, what I found fascinating recently, just learned it this morning, is typically when you go through a price move, a Bitcoin price move to the upside, you usually see long-term holders, which is a metric we monitor. It's an on-chain analytics metric. And it means people who have not moved, or wallets that have not moved their Bitcoin in 155 days or more. Yes. Well, normally when you go through a price move to the upside, a very nice one like we've seen in the last year, that tends to start moving down. And it did that true to form, but it has reversed in recent days because what we learned is GBTC sold some of its Bitcoin. So those wallets hadn't been changed in a long time, right? Now that is done, at least for the time being. Now that is done, and it's going back up again as the price goes up. That's highly unusual. And I think it is because the long-term holder is saying, why would I sell now when I know all these institutions, which own nothing in this realm, in this new asset class, they have to consider it because it is a new asset class.
I have friends of mine who...
All right. So all that being said, now you have Cathie Wood, extremely intelligent, very successful. You have Pierre Rochard, extremely intelligent, very successful, right? But what happened last market? I'm going to tie it up with this. And this is something that, again, I do not hear enough people talk about, but I believe that we were destined to hit 100K in 2021. But something happened. Bitcoin was attacked by a nation state. In fact, not only was it just any old nation state, it was one of the most powerful tyrannical nation states on the face of the planet. And of course, I'm talking about China, which is controlled by a single party, the CCP. And they banned Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin in the middle of the last bull run. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it was on purpose. I think they were trying to attack the price. I don't hear a lot of people say that, but I'll make the case for you guys today. Because again, this is just so obvious. It's so incredibly obvious if you're taking a look at the data. So the line up top for our audio listeners, I'm going to have to describe this to you, is the price of Bitcoin at the time. The line on the bottom is the Bitcoin hash rate. The Bitcoin hash rate is a representation of the amount of computational power that's actively mining Bitcoin, therefore securing the Bitcoin network, right? And getting rewarded for it. If you take a look at the price, take a look at what happens when the price starts to dump. The hash rate starts to dump with it. In fact, the hash rate dumps and the price goes down with it. Now, why did that happen? Well, that's because there was a concentration of the Bitcoin hash rate in China at the time, and all of those Chinese miners had to sell their Bitcoin stack and their mining equipment to relocate to more favorable jurisdictions. And this happened in the middle of the last run up. Now, I think it had so much momentum that's why we got the double peak. But not that many people talk about that. Now, what's different this time? Take a look at the hash rate. It's gone absolutely parabolic with the price. And I don't think there's going to be a ban. I mean, they're trying to, like Elizabeth Warren is trying to, and co. Right? She's doing everything in her power. But the vast majority of this hash rate, or a good portion of this hash rate, is located in Texas, and Texas is extremely friendly towards Bitcoin mining. And the more that the price of Bitcoin goes up, the more friendlier the state of Texas will be, right? Bitcoin is not a friend of tyrannical governments, which is why China had to get rid of it and to push forward their central bank digital currency. So another thing that I wanted to mention as well is that the hash rate recovered in about 9 to 10 months. It distributed in the process, became more decentralized, right? Without any type of central authority or any type of CEO or leader telling them to do so. That's absolutely incredible. And look, it's just going parabolic. And why did it do this? Bitcoin's incentives. So I think this was one of the key factors last cycle. A lot of people are talking about FTX and the rehypothecation. I think that played a part. But I think that this was the primary cause. Now, I don't think that's going to happen this cycle. Anyways, I wanted to say that. So not only, are you hearing 1.5 to $1 million Bitcoin predictions by very reputable figures, but you're kind of hearing also the thought process behind how we're getting to those numbers as well, right? So very, very interesting. I'm extremely bullish on this cycle. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments if you're watching the pre-record or the recorded version of the show. If you guys missed the live show, drop in the comment if you guys think those are absolutely absurd numbers. If you're watching us live, comment. And of course, if you guys want to help push the orange signal forward, smash that like button if you're watching us on YouTube, on Rumble, or on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're currently at 1,400 live viewers, so appreciate all you guys for watching. Anyways, Opti, I know you're more bolt-hearted than I am in general. So what
bolt-hearted is life.
But I mean, like, bro, like I wanted to kind of break it down. Like I wanted to make the case as to why they're saying these things, because you can just throw numbers out there, but if you don't explain the thought process behind it, it kind of doesn't make sense. So, now that I broke it down, we pulled the data, we showed the receipts. What are your thoughts, man? Is 1 million possible? Dude, 1 million by 2027, bro. That's what, like 3 years from now? That'd be absolutely effing massive.
Yeah, no, I mean, first off, context here, speculating is fun. Obviously, all Bitcoiners speculate on the price, whether publicly or privately. The problem is when you throw all of your net worth in Bitcoin at a certain price, expecting a higher price, or you leverage your house or mortgage your house or get a HELOC, and you make really risky decisions because you think the price of Bitcoin is going up forever. So obviously, guys, PSA, don't do that. That's why I think the stay humble meme is so strong strong, it's stay humble in your finances, work your job, save in Bitcoin, try to provide as much value so that you can get a good cash flow and then put all that in the Bitcoin. With all that being said, I absolutely love this bull charted take. Pierre is the king of being bull charted. I remember him last cycle. He was definitely one of the dudes like Paul Revere, like, we're going to 100K, like hyper Bitcoinization is here. And then we all got a little piece of humble pie. So obviously he might be kind of doing something similar here, because 1 million by 2027, as much as I believe it's a non-zero chance and there's a very good probability of that happening, it still seems like one of those far-fetched numbers. But again, when I bought Bitcoin in 2017 at like 10K, or it went to 3K, I wouldn't be saying that we'd be at 70K in 3 to 4 years like that. Those numbers seem like, oh, maybe one day we'll get there. But again, I think what we're seeing here is that Bitcoin's getting adopted at such an incredible pace right now. And now the floodgates are going to get open up to Bitcoin. And so I think this is where Pierre is taking it. Like, all your models are broken. Your lines on your chart are imaginary lines. And yeah, there might be some psychological point on the Bitcoin price that people want to sell out. But again, what are you selling out to? Well, you're going to sell your Bitcoin for fiat. You're going to sell something that is hard capped, that is digitally scarce, for something that they can print for infinity. But I do tend to agree with Pierre Rochard, because 100K is only like a 50% move from here. You guys can check my math on this, but it's not that far away. It's only 30K away from here. So if you think we're going to stop this cycle at 100K, or, I was doing, and me and Nico would have these kind of conversations and almost like low-key arguments where I'm like, dude, like 300K seems like a conservative idea of where the Bitcoin price is going to be. But again, that was before we saw the level of demand that we're seeing from institutions. And again, bringing back the little story I just told you in the numbers, is that high net worth individuals, they don't move as quickly here. So they're doing their research and they move slow. But when they do make a move, they make a huge splash. So it's only going to take a couple very rich people with very high conviction in Bitcoin to move the market. And also, rather, some unsophisticated buyers. Like, if they're buying, I think I saw over the weekend, Nico, and someone can fact check me, but someone just bought like $1 billion just on the open market over the weekend, just like not even caring, just like stacking Bitcoin. If you're a high net worth individual, you're probably going to like over the counter Bitcoin sellers, but it's only going to take one high-level conviction from a very wealthy person to really kick the can down the road and make this start to move. And so, the ETFs are 3 months old. Obviously, we don't advise you to buy the ETF. We want you guys to buy Bitcoin directly. But there was one point in there that Marty mentioned, and it was just in passing. But Bitcoin today is the 5th largest base money in the world. I don't think you guys understand what that really means right now. Like, Bitcoin, yes, all of us Bitcoiners are super excited about Bitcoin. It's all we can talk about. But again, if you talk to normal people in everyday life, they still think Bitcoin is some fad. And yet it's the 5th largest base money in the world. Like, it's one of the biggest monies in the world. And right now, no one's even talking about Bitcoin. So just wait till that FOMO starts to catch on again. I remember I got in 2017 and it seemed like it was a FOMO craze. You get caught up in the FOMO craze. It does seem like hyper Bitcoinization is coming, or it's here rather. But I do think that we really underestimate the tsunami of demand that is on the horizon for the next year or two. So I'm not saying that 1 million is absolutely bull-tarded. I think it could be a possibility, but it does seem like one of those far-fetched numbers. But again, when you put all these dots together, the fact that they won't be able to ban Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining again, the fact that we're seeing institutional demand by the hundreds of billions, the fact that we haven't even got retail to FOMO into Bitcoin, the fact that Bitcoin is only at maybe like 1% adoption rate, and I would say less on the amount of people that really understand what Bitcoin is. I'm not a bear. I'm actually more bullish than Nico is. But Bitcoin is being adopted at a spectacular rate. I think at this point, we can safely say it's the fastest adopted technology ever, faster than the internet. Like, the internet was made just for Bitcoin, and it's getting adopted at an incredible pace right now. But like I said, the paper hands out there that are looking at psychological price points to sell Bitcoin, there will be some pullbacks. It's not going to be just, God candles after God candles, but this is why we tell you guys all the time that the real game is holding and accumulating Bitcoin for as long as possible and not looking for price targets. Just, as my buddy Wino, he says, he's like, I buy Bitcoin tops as historical timestamps. It doesn't matter at what price you buy Bitcoin. It's that you hold Bitcoin long term. And again, going back to high net worth individuals, you think they really care about buying Bitcoin at 70K or 65K or 75K when they think this is going to $1 million? That's just a rounding error on their balance sheet. And they're like, I don't care. Buy this. It's going up forever. I need to store in something that doesn't lose value. And that's a totally different mind shift than people that are basically treating Bitcoin like a penny stock, that are speculating on the price, and they're just trying to turn their like $1,000 into what, like $1,500. It's like, it's a totally different game when you understand that Bitcoin is the best thing to store your value through time and space that has ever been created. And you switch your mindset. Once you get on the Bitcoin operating system, you're like, I don't want dollars. What? Like, I don't want dollars. But hey, $1 million by 2027? Let's go.
All right, Will, what's your take on all this? Are we being ultra bearish? Are we being bullish, bearish?
You guys are so bearish. I mean, oh my gosh. I thought the Simply Bitcoin host would be more bullish. So look, as you say, Nico, the revolution is the self-custody. And I'm ready because BlackRock is coming. They're going to try to buy more of our ETF. They're going to knock on your door, on Alfi's door, on my door, saying, please, can I buy some of your Bitcoin? I have institutional investors who would like to buy some Bitcoin, and there's just not enough on the exchanges. Please, will you sell it to us for $1 million? No, I'm not selling for $1 million. I'm not selling for $1.5 million because that's not my price target. Actually, there is no price target. Bitcoin is freedom, and I can't put a price on that. So we're never selling.
Oh man, Dude, I absolutely love our guest today. We aren't selling. I wish we had the Wolf of Wall Street clip. It'd be very, very fitting for this moment. Anyways, guys, we have a lot to talk about during the culture segment. But first, I do want to give a very, very special shout out to our new sponsor. And of course, I am talking about the best place to build this one. There we go. We're doing it live. Anyways, so guys, check out the Orange Pill app. Stack friends who stack sats, and there's no better place to do it than the Orange Pill app. Join the Bitcoin social layer today. Download it on your app store, whether you have an Android or an iPhone. Guys, this is the best place to connect with other Bitcoiners. So if you're in town and you don't know any Bitcoiners, you just move to a new city, you download the Orange Pill app and it connects you with other Bitcoiners near you. It's also the best place to create a Bitcoin event. Tired of going to what looks like a Bitcoin meetup only for it to be hijacked with Web3 and shitcoins? The Orange Pill app is pure Bitcoin only signal. It's the #1 resource for Bitcoin only events. So guys, download the Orange Pill app today. It's only Bitcoiners on there. There's no altcoiners. I love the way that they filter it. It's really, really cool. I met a lot of friends in Bitcoin on the Orange Pill app. So guys, download the Orange Pill app today. Scan the QR code or check the link in the video description. All right, everybody, let's get to the culture.
The Daily Culture.
All right, everybody, I also want to give a shout out to Kabir Max. They're the most trusted place to buy, sell, and host mining equipment. You can scan the QR code or check the link in the description, and it will take you directly to their Telegram marketplace where you can connect with a member of their sales team. They make purchasing their products easy and transparent. You could also sell your mining equipment with them, access their vast network of domestic and international customers. Guys, this is where I personally buy my Bitcoin mining ASICs. What are you waiting for? Check out Kaboom Racks today and start your Bitcoin mining journey. Opti?
Yeah, so Will, longtime friend, another content creator, and we say it all the time on the show. The way we win this is by taking over the culture.
I'm gonna hijack this for a second. Guys, we just broke 1,000 live viewers on Twitter. We have almost 500. We have 440 on YouTube, and we have around 80 on Rumble. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, it really helps if you smash the like button. It tells the algos to push the orange signal forward. So appreciate all you guys for tuning in to Simply Bitcoin Live. Anyways, Opti, it's all yours.
Okay, before I was rudely interrupted. No, we always say all the time, the way to win here is by pushing the culture forward and getting Bitcoin into every avenue possible, talking about Bitcoin in maybe not so usual ways like a podcast, but it's creating art and books and music and all that good stuff that gets Bitcoin in front of their eyes. And Will, you're doing this. So I can pull up your tweets and videos or websites here and all that stuff. But maybe let's start with what made you create books? Like what made you write Bitcoin books?
Yeah, well, I really didn't want a divorce. So I love my wife a lot, and I was just talking about Bitcoin constantly, nonstop, and she's assured me that she loves me and supports me. So shout out for when she watches this recording later. But it was just a little much. So thank goodness I could channel all of my energy, my passion for Bitcoin into writing about it. And then I could make a book that she could read later, and then I'll eagerly be like, "What did you think? Did you like it?" But in particular, do your own research. That's what we always say about Bitcoin. And for me, my background is computer science as a software engineer, and I really needed to understand the code of Bitcoin for myself. So my very first book, The Bitcoin Dog, Following the Descent to the Bitcoin C++ source code, to actually read the code of the halving. Like, how does the halving work? How does the 21 million Bitcoin limit actually work? So here in my book, I have in color that code, and it was really an exercise in myself. You know, for other people, if they're able to just watch Simply Bitcoin, see the graphs, see the hash charts that Nico presents, and they get it, that's fantastic. For me, I had to get into the actual C++ source code to really convince myself and have that conviction to invest a little bit of my net worth into Bitcoin. So I went from there. And then when I wrote my first book, I found people they didn't like the code parts that much. They really liked the story. So that's when I had to write Bitcoin Girl Save the World, to just do a fiction novel, Destiny heading to El Salvador. So I'm excited for Nico to get inspired for his trip to El Salvador. The journey just continues from there, connecting with other fellow authors. Last time I was on Simply talking about 21 Futures. They had a writing contest to get inspired and think about where Bitcoin could take us. So 21 different fellow Bitcoin writers. My short story, Who Let the Bitcoin Dogs Out? You read a sample last time. And the plebs just keep plebbing. Stackchain Magazine, my latest article will be in the Stackchain Magazine Volume 3 Halving issue, which is available for pre-order now. Shout out to any Stackchainers who also follow Simply Bitcoin. But I've just really enjoyed connecting with people. I got my Simply Bitcoin sticker on, and I have this other sticker from some other merch company that has some podcast. If you know, you know. So that's right. And also BitPlebs LA, my local Bitcoin meetup. And I love participating in the giveaways. We're so early that you can enter a Bitcoin giveaway and actually win. So even this shirt, Fix the Money, Fix the World, was from a Proof of Ink giveaway, giving away free shirts. And that's where I'll be giving away 2 signed copies of my book, Bitcoin Girl Save the World, with a new anniversary edition cover.
Dude.
But yeah, that's how I got into it. I just wanted to stay married to my wife. So there you go.
All right, well, I got the new cover here. Jump in, Nico.
So yeah, just gonna hijack this for a second. We did get a super chat. Appreciate you, Einman. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Einman 3080. Appreciate the 10 Australian dollars. With the amount of gold it would take to pay off the U.S. national debt, you can build the entire Eiffel Tower 50 times over, give or take $1 million BTC incoming. I think Opti read my mind with the horns. All right, Opti, back to you.
Okay, well, so let's talk about the new cover, and you want to do a giveaway live, and then we'll direct people to where they can get it and all that good stuff.
That's right. So Destiny, she actually joins an armed eco-resistance group in El Salvador, where all of a sudden she has to get trained in close quarter combat and guns and jumping into military Chinook helicopters. So I got some feedback from Brad Mills on Twitter saying, bro, you got to make this cover more aggressive to reflect how Destiny is a badass. So here we go. So I have a new cover and additionally a new foreword by esteemed Bitcoin book reviewer Eric Buys, as well as an updated chapter 1 with advice from my writing podcast with Maxwell Alexander Drake and Marie Mullaney. So I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to give away 2 signed copies.
Okay, so let's do that. I think you told us you already did the contest picker, or you already picked the winners. So you're going to have to trust him on this, and then you can verify on the back end. But well, maybe tell them how you picked it and then who the winners are.
So to pick, you had to repost my post on X. I put it in the Simply Bitcoin Telegram, so everybody in that Simply Telegram, I had it there ready for you, as well as follow me, follow Simply Bitcoin, and comment with your favorite fiction book. So those are the rules to enter.
All right, cool. All right, let's pick the names out of the hat.
All right. Where's my? Do you have an air horn drum roll sound? Come on.
I got you. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Live show. Let's go.
Wait, is this still on?
All right. First winner is Psyduck. So Psyduck SC, Psyduck Stack Chain. So congratulations, Psyduck. And your favorite fiction book was Shantaram. And the second winner.
Wait, Opti?
Okay, hold on. I changed screens.
Mukwano Coffee Guy, the other winner. And his favorite fiction book was R.E. Recaptured. So thank you guys. You are the winners. I will reach out to you to get your address to mail you your signed autographed copies.
Okay. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Okay, so let's someone said in the chat, I want to get that the dog book. So I do have the Amazon page here for you. So tell the people where they can get it, and then we'll plug your websites and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. On Amazon, if you search Bitcoin Girl Save the World, or if you search the Bitcoin Dog Following the Scent, that is the way to get to my Bitcoin Dog book. I have it on Kindle, paperback, and hardcover for Bitcoin Girl. Yeah, you could click Big 2 of 2, the Bitcoin Dog, to get to the series. Yep. And then there's the Bitcoin Dog on the left for the other book. But yeah, those are the books. If you want a paperback and hardcover or Kindle version, and then I have another link for you, Opti.
Did this one?
This is bitcoingirlbook.com. So I hate fiat. Fiat's the worst. I want to pay to read in Bitcoin. So I'm really excited about this. This is a Lightning powered website through a Lightning startup called GetMash, where you can pay to read the book 1 chapter at a time. So it's online only, but you could do checkout with Lightning. So you don't have to use a credit card or anything. There's no email address. There's no account name or password or anything like that. So you could read silently. You only keep reading as long as you like the book. So it pushes me to be a better author. I think it's a new paradigm, and Mash has made it so you can do reactions on different sections or things. So I added Laser Eyes reaction to the cover for Bitcoin Girl Save the World, but so it's more, and that's a premium reaction. So that one costs 2,100 sats, but you can do comment emojis or comment on GIFs throughout the chapter. So in chapter 1, also I had a GIF of just so steamy Sebastian, so exciting. So so I'm just very excited about where Lightning will take us. Again, we're so early, transcend the reading paradigm.
Let's go. All right, let's plug your other website, Bitcoin, and then
yeah. Oh, well, can you do Real Bitcoin Dog really fast? RealBitcoinDog.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like 4 different ones. So this is my website, realbitcoindog.com, which has links to everything. So you can subscribe to my email newsletter here, and then just scroll down a little bit. Let's see if the image is. Yeah, here. So I have a new merch to go along with the new cover. I got models showing off the hats. Wow. Oh my gosh. So exciting. They are not AI generated. For everybody who wants to know if they are AI generated, they are not. New socks, new bras, new hats, and then we'll go to the merch store. So the one you were on before. But yeah, this is the website. Yep. And so just for you guys, I have a promo code SIMPLY for 21% off. The promo code is only good for 48 hours. So if you want 21% off, code SIMPLY. Yeah, I love it. And there it is. And you can buy the EPUB file here. So even if you don't have a Kindle, you could buy the digital version here. But yeah, look at all this tasty merch for you to cuddle up, snuggle up in your favorite Bitcoin dog or Bitcoin girl socks. The Bitcoin girl bras are very popular. We got trucker hats, we have dad hats, we have sweatshirts, and a dog feeding mat. And then some pet T-shirts. Yes, I have that stuff for the dogs and stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting your fellow pleb. And I'm dying for Opti to read chapter 1 of Bitcoin Girl Save the World right now. It's a very short chapter. It won't take too long. I promise.
Where is it at? Where's it at?
I sent you the Word doc or the
Okay,
PDF.
all right.
So,
then I'm slacking on this. But yeah, let's see.
You're doing great.
Okay, I do have it.
Yeah. And then just scroll to where the chapter.
Let's see if
starts.
I can pull this up for everyone. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. The illustrious, sultry voice of Optimus Fields reading "Bitcoin Girl Save the World" by Will. I'm gonna ruin your last name, so I'm not even gonna try.
Oh my gosh. Let's keep going. Let's go to chapter 1.
All right, here we are.
Here we are. Keep going. That's the forward by Eric Weisman.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Okay,
all
here
right.
we go.
Chapter 1, The Quiet Life. There will be no future if there never was a past. I'm trying and trying, but all I get is pain, silence. Deep in the jungle of the interwebs, I'm trying to make my presence known and leave my mark, but I can't get noticed. A quiet life is not for me. I don't want to die a nobody. I want to be remembered for all times going out in a blaze of glory. I go to my bedroom mirror and apply my makeup, foundation, blush, curl my blonde hair, blue eyeshadow, lashes to the nines, and of course, that cherry red lipstick. I turn on the bright lights of my vanity and get ready to fire up my webcam. It's time to live stream to my followers. I check myself out one more time in the mirror. Damn, girl, you look good. I always say to myself to boost my confidence, but I have to admit this morning I don't look good. I leave a big red smooch on the mirror as a final good luck kiss, open up my laptop and get started. Good Saturday morning, followers. It's your girl Destiny here, ready to give you some of that tasty influence. No need to wonder what products to buy. I've got all the answers for you right here. Now, who wants to pay $5 for a super chat to ask me a question on a product to buy? Crickets. My eyes drift down to the participants. Am I alone? Yes, no one is online listening. My hands are trembling on the keyboard. Sadly, I would only get 4 out of that $5 after paywall gets its cut. If only there was a way for my followers around the world could pay me directly without the need for an intermediary. Sigh. If only I had followers. A girl can dream. I took... Go.
Oh man. Wait, where are we?
Oh, Nico got right here.
Okay. I look cute in the camera and I twiddled my hair. No super chats come in. Typical. I've been telling the meathead jocks at my high school to watch me for weeks now, but they've shown no interest. I'm now desperate since we're about to graduate. Yesterday, I even went over to the environmental hippies in their blue overalls at lunch to ask them to tune in. And they absolutely no fashion. They have absolutely no fashion sense and look completely lost. My computer chimes that someone has logged on. A follower. Words appear on the screen as a follower types. Hi, Destiny. It's Optimus Fields. Good morning, Optimus Fields, I say into the camera. I don't recognize that name. All the environmental hippies look the same to me. No reason to diminish one from the other. Still, I'm excited to have someone to talk to this morning. Thanks for stopping by yesterday at lunch. You told us to tune in for fashion tips, but that's not why I'm here. You never paid attention to us or our cause before, but we could use your help. Use my help? Why could these environmentalists use my help for? All I've seen them do is chain themselves to a tree in the middle of the quad. Seems like they've got it all handled for themselves. Still, I'm interested. What do you? The door slams, nearly ripping off its hinges. Destiny, Mom bursts into the room. I growl for the camera, trying to make it cute. What is it, Mom? I whirl. In my chair to give her a dirty look. Can't you see? I'm trying to promote myself over here. Destiny, it's time for you to get ready for your community service. Mom puts her hands on her hips. Do you want to help in the soup kitchen today or pick up the trash on the beach? Why should I care about cleaning up the beach? It all goes into the ocean anyways. I reply, well, that is a weird word. Smartly. My laptop chimes again. Ask your mom if you can help join our environmental protests today. Environmental protests? Ugh, those are so annoying. They close down the main highway and make my Uber ride take twice as long to get to the mall. Still, I'd prefer to be seen picking up trash at the beach, wearing plastic gloves instead of tanning in my bikini. Quote, sorry, Mom, I've got other plans. I'm going to head to the environmental protest down the street with my classmate, Optimus Fields. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm just glad you'll be outside actually helping to make the world a better place instead of just putting lipstick on and talking to yourself in front of your computer all day. Mom, you're so embarrassing. I slam my laptop shut and storm off, ready to meet Optimus Fields at the protest.
Oh my God. All right. Hold on. I got to clear something up here.
Opti would like disguise himself as environmentalist to get the attention of an e-girl.
Wait. I got to clarify things here because Will was telling me I was going to get put on the spot. So I think I'm the e-girl and I'm courting an environmentalist. That's the inside joke here, that I'm the e-girl putting my lipstick on to talking to the computer.
Well, Opti is simply e-girl, so everyone knows that.
Oh man, this is good. Hold on, one comment here. Loco TX says, send this to an AI and let's make it the video episode. Fade to black. Let's go.
Oh man.
All right, man.
Yeah,
all right.
But that's the start. That's the humble beginnings. She'll go to El Salvador. She'll join an armed eco-resistance. She'll start a big Bitcoin mining rig. It's all going to go wrong. She's captain of Delta Squad. She's got to jump into the Humvees. She's literally got to save the world. And she's doing it by raising Bitcoin on her podcast.
Love it. Oh yeah. Man. All right, guys.
Man,
so you guys could get yourself a copy of the book. Go follow at Real Bitcoin Dog for more info. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to help push the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, share Bitcoin content, buy Bitcoin books, share Bitcoin music. We win over the culture. We win the war. Will, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, always laughing, always smiling. Bright orange future.
Appreciate it, Will. Thank you so much. All right, guys. I will be streaming live from the shining country on a hill, El Salvador, tomorrow, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did book a room with a volcano view, so I'm going to try to get that into the shot. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin Live.
Was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.